Hello, welcome to Comfortable Shoes Studio. I'm Leslie, and this is another episode of art making. In this episode, I am working on these small, 4.5 by 6-inch sheets that I have prepared with a window that is roughly 4 by, I think, 5 inches. Because it fits on this particular clipboard, and this is actually a clipboard that I will take out for urban sketching, and I am going to be practicing figures. So figures are something that in my urban sketching I have avoided. I avoid making them or drawing them because I'm not comfortable drawing them. Now, I've been doing this gesture drawing thing, which I am planning on doing an entire video about. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of little figure drawings. I might end up doing 100, which I think there's a 100 figures challenge. But I'm going to try doing some crowds and things, but I'm not going to focus on the rest of the scene. I'm only going to focus on doing figures. So, yeah. I'm going to focus on those, and I'm also going to focus on the materials that I tend to use when I am out and about drawing. So these particular paint markers, these really inexpensive paint markers, water brushes, and I'm going to be working small, so I'm going to use small travel brushes. So this is a number 6 round. And this is a number 4 round. This came with a little pocket set. I'm going to be using my CMYK pocket set that I made. These are beam paints. And then these are Holbein paints in a little mini travel palette that I have adapted to only hold 4 colors. So it's CMYK adjacent, as I like to say. And then I've got these 2 travel palettes. This one, which these brushes arrived with, that I have also adapted to have a white mixing well, and then the container attaches. And then I've got this, which I made my own paint cup out of a deodorant lid. So I'll be using that in I'm probably going to end up doing a series of videos out of this, because 100 figures is a lot, and so that's a lot to do. I mean, more than enough that it won't fit into one video. So I'm going to get these paints. I'm going to re-wet them a little bit. I'm going to be working from imagination, and I'm just going to show you the sorts of figures I'm going to be working on. These paints don't need a lot of re-wetting. They need a little bit. All right. So I'm going to be doing figures that I've seen on a bunch of videos on YouTube that are sort of just blobs. So you've got like a dot for a head, and then a blocky rectangle for a body, and then the legs come down like so. One leg's always a little shorter to show some movement, and then you can make the arms come out a little bit. So that body's not quite long enough. Again, I have another figure here. So the body can taper in, and the leg can come out. And then you can give a little bit of an indication of arms. And these figures are walking away from us. So basically, I just really want to practice these sort of little mini sorts of figures that you would see in an urban sketch, because I don't like drawing the figures in my urban sketches. It's sort of like the cars. I focused on doing cars a while back, or other vehicles really, because I really felt like that I needed to have that work in my images. They weren't working well in my images, so I needed to add stuff so that my images looked better to me. It's all about what that is for the person. I'm doing some figures a little further off into the distance. And I'm letting some of them like connect together and connecting them. I think I will end up overlapping these a little bit. Just bringing the whole figure down. This person just feels like they're standing there. Maybe they're having a conversation with this person. I know this is probably going to be pretty small on your screen. It is hard to work this small and get it so it works on camera. So basically, it's just like an indication of a figure. It's less really making it look perfect and getting details in there, and more about giving an idea that there's a figure there. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that I'm trying to like practice is like a crowd of people or a group of people and getting the proportions right. Like I feel like these proportions are right for someone off in the distance, where this feels like they're a little closer. And I'm just using the paint that's right in the lid of my set. I don't want to waste any paint, that's for sure. So what I've learned is that with some of these figures, you're just doing an indication. You're just trying to show that there's a figure there. And then kind of overlap the crowd. And I'm having this crowd move away from us. So I would make this layer slightly larger. And you'll recognize like the previous layer is not fully dry. So things are going to bleed a little bit. And colors are going to blend. So I'm enjoying this. I mean, do these count as like 100 figures? I don't know. The idea is like I'm just practicing how to get the idea of a figure on a page. So like if you are looking at one of my figure or not my figure drawings, if you're looking at one of my urban sketches, I can capture a crowd of people quickly. Like I feel like these need to be bigger. Like that figure was quite big. Maybe I need to hit this with the heat gun. All right, let's get back to it. Oh, that head is way too big. Too much water. Maybe they're wearing a parka. So one of the things I am trying to do is these figures that are further back are lighter than what I'm hoping figures in the foreground will be. So I think what I'm learning that I need to practice my brush control a little bit. I had way too much water on there. And that's causing a problem. I'm just trying to add a little variety here to the figure. Maybe this figure's coming towards us. It's a trio of dudes. Adding a little blue for like a denim look to darken that a little bit. Maybe I'll do a big, larger figure walking away. It's gonna go. So I think the idea is like I'm just making these like people that basically start out like a little bit like a carrot. You add in either a shorter or a longer leg, and then they are, you know, off in the distance. Just kind of the idea of a figure. I kind of like that so far. I mean, I'm not, definitely not trying to like make a finished image here, but I'm gonna play a little bit more. Let's get another sheet of paper here. All right. And one of the tips that I saw was to like make a wash for your people in the distance, like a pale wash, like so. And green might not be the best color for that because we tend to read green as trees and whatnot, but we'll play around with some red, some magenta. We'll get some figures, little heads here. And I was just gonna blur around. One of the tips that I watched was that you should make these heads be kind of an oval shape instead of a round shape. I do think that seems to work better when you are doing figures that are walking away from you or yeah. I'm encouraging this magenta and green mix to blend down into the green paint. And then we're gonna give an idea of some legs with I'm gonna use the blue, I guess. So I'm recognizing already that this blue is far too intense. And the size of the heads and the bodies are way too, this is kind of creepy. It's definitely got a unsettling vibe. This crowd is just sort of like standing around. And I think I'm adding too many legs compared to, I mean, they don't have to be. I'm trying to make it perfect, but there's no like being perfect here, I don't think. I don't think that's really how this is gonna work. There's definitely a very elongated body thing going on here. And I'm probably getting my hand in the way so you can't really see all of it. The legs are also very skinny. I kind of like the ghostly vibe there. It's kind of a fun crowd, creepy crowd. These beam paints also granulate really well, so that's always kind of fun. I'm going to hit that with the heat gun. All right. I'm going to try that crowd idea again. But this time I'm going to start with just a bunch of little ovals. I'm going to vary the height a little bit, shape a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a little bit of a wash where I connect with those heads, but not make it I'm going to try and go a little vertically. All right, now I'm going to come back into it. A slightly darker shade. I'm going to add some indication of legs. Crowd is moving. And I'm not trying to like be perfect here and do exactly 2 legs for every head. Maybe some of these people are a little further away. A little bit darker. Okay, I'm happier with this one. Adding a little bit more water so I get some more granulation in there because the page started to dry out. All right, I think I like that indication of a crowd better than that one. Although I think this part up here works pretty well, but I like how this all blends together, and I like how the heads are distinct. Let's try another version. I think I'm going to do the same sort of grouping of heads to start. Maybe those distance people are a little more spaced out. And I'm going to do that same way of connecting. I think I want this pretty wet. So I noticed up here I like the whole thing when it was wet more. I think I could have broken up the brush strokes a little bit. All right. A little purple going. The whole idea with this is just that it's an indication of people. And I'm going to make some of these legs a little less distinct because it's a group off in the distance, so it doesn't need to be distinct. You know, if you look at a group of people, they just sort of like that's off in the distance. You might see indications or recognize like hair. I think I like this style of like, here's a blob that is an indication of a person. Okay. All right. So that's the first round of this experiment. All right. So that one was not completely dry. I had some fun little experimentation there. So you got group of people off in the distance, and then this is another style of doing a group of people off in the distance with some people in the foreground. I think I'm going to keep practicing this, and I'll record some of that practicing. I'm not going to record all of it for sure, but I will make sure that I write up some of my experimentation, and it'll be on my Ko-fi account if you want some more details and information about what I'm doing with this practice. And this is sort of the thing that I do. I recognize that there is something that I want to get better at in my sketching and my art making. In this case, I am recognizing that my crowds and people in my urban sketching is lacking or non-existent because I won't draw them. So a lot of my urban sketches completely lack people because I just won't draw them. So I'm going to practice this until I feel comfortable, sort of what I've done with vehicles, so cars and trucks. Now that I'm more comfortable, I definitely include those in my urban sketches now. So I'll keep you posted on the journey, and you'll see some videos on it. So anyway, if you enjoy this, please hit the thumbs up. If you hate it, give me a thumbs down, whatever makes you happy. And if you really enjoy it, hit that subscribe button. And if you really, really enjoy it, you want to really see what I do when it comes to urban sketching and my writings about creativity, you can head over to my Ko-fi account. There's a link in the description down below. And with that, I want to say thank you, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.